We are told that for even a day or two. Yes, they went and got it. And as we shall be proving here, you apply, you get a message, then you go, from a government agency.
So you took over the committee that your people applied as a constituency, and was it something that was countrywide?
It was something that was countrywide, as I indicated. I'm not only a leader of Bumula constituency, but I'm a leader in this republic called Kenya. So as we will be demonstrating, there are people from other regions, agricultural regions, from the Rift Valley, where my brother Chepkonga comes from. From Mount Kenya, where Muraguri comes from. So people from every region of this country who are farmers, yes, they applied, they went and bought, but it turned out to be fake fertilizer.
It turned out to be fake, as you say, yeah?
Yes.
Now, was it just fake in your constituency, or it was fake all over?
As we will be proving to this committee, it was fake all over. We have fake fertilizer from across, from Central, from Rift Valley, from Western Kenya. Farmers are crying. There's no food. Some of them use that money to take their children to school. Some of them use that to just a minute. Some of them use that for even medication purposes. The little they get, they sell. When they are sick, they go to hospital. They use that money.
So basically you're telling the committee that your constituent members entirely depend on most of, let's say, for that extent, depend on agriculture.
No, nothing else, agriculture.
Now, these effects of the fertilizer, were they just in your constituency, or it was across all?
Across Kenya.
Across Kenya.
Majorly in the agricultural regions.
Now, having that information, that the fertilizer is fake and it's affecting our crops and all of that, did you care to find out where it came from Africa?
Of course, it's very indicative about where the fertilizer came from, because it came through National Cereals and Produce Board. And as a legislator, I had a duty now to try and find out and unearth some of these things. One is that I wanted to find constitutionally who is mandated to supply subsidized fertilizer. And as we'll be proving to this House, it is not National Cereals and Produce Board. It is not. This Parliament, National Assembly, through Fertilizer Act, requires the minister, and it said he shall. The minister shall form the board, constitute the board, operationalize that agency. Now, the mandate of distribution of this fertilizer squarely falls on the Fertilizer Board. The agency, the National Assembly, the act the National Assembly created, and in fact, it gave its schedules, what are they called in legal term, in 2022. And it says the minister shall. So, when I learned that in the first place, the minister went and constituted a committee.
Mr. Moore, maybe before you go to that part, and for the sake of the committee, where did you get all this information? What was the source?
This one, of course, Parliament is a house of records. That is a product of Parliament. It is there. Two, some of this information I got from committees, which are products of the National Assembly and Parliament, as it were, including Senate. And I relied heavily. And, Madam Chair, that is why, on that provision, is why we asked that this committee, and thank you, and gladly you ruled that a witness can be summoned. We relied heavily on a document that was presented by KELS to Agriculture Committee. And on the basis of that is why we were requesting that you, through your powers as this committee, summon the COO of KELS, Devesh. Two, we have a lot of letters, several letters in our document, authored mostly by the PS, that will point clearly that indeed the minister was aware of all this. I also request that, as earlier indicated, you kindly summon the PS, Dr. Ron.
Doctor, we'll get to that, yeah? But just to lay the basis for that, I want to refer you to your affidavit, on page 12.
Yes.
In particular, paragraph 3.2. So what was the source of your other information according to that structure?
That on or about 31st March 2022, the Citizen Digital News platform published an article titled National Cereals Board Enters into Merger aimed at lowering prices, fertilizer prices, where it was reported that the National Cereals and Produce Board has reached a new partnership. Part of my, when I was now looking for information, I'm a Kenyan citizen who watches news. And at that point, I want to appreciate our brothers in the Fourth Estate. They're doing a good job. When at that point, when I was watching the news, of course, the Minister of Government must be truthful. So the first time the minister spoke, I heard about that fertilizer scandal. When the press people asked him, what about this scandal? He said, there is no fake fertilizer in the market. So I went back to people. I said, I could be my people are lying. The second time the minister came, he gave a different version.
Just to hold on, Mr. Wamboka. At this point, Madam Chair will wish to produce a video clip that clearly shows the government entering into a market for fertilizer prices. So it was something that had been experimented. Sorry, Madam Chair. That video is supposed to be played somewhere else, but what we refer to is the link in paragraph page 12 of your documents, there is a link that shows an article indicating that the government had announced the merger on how to lower the fertilizer prices in the country. Mr. Wamboka, can you proceed?
Yeah, as I was saying, I watch news. I got disturbed when minister in this government, a government that operates on public trust, is giving 3 versions of the same story. I got concerned, Madam Chair. I got concerned as a Kenyan. Today, the minister is saying this, as will be played on the video. He said initially there is no fake fertilizer. That is the minister, Honorable Franklin Mithika Linturi. Then he came and said, no, it's just the composition of the chemicals that they do not meet the standards. It's version 2 of this minister. Then he came and said, no, what we were selling was not fertilizer. It was air, it was soil conditioner. That is the minister. Same person. The mighty Honorable Franklin Linturi, Minister for Agriculture. Then hell breaks loose. This minister says there are only 3,000. Those are 4 versions from a public servant. If you cannot be trusted as a public servant, what do you expect? He can deny. He's here. He can deny or confirm. 4 versions. Then I got disturbed. Said, this minister does not know that he operates on public trust. And he has no business serving in this government. Madam Chair, food is the backbone. Agriculture is the backbone of this country. When you mess with that, there's no country. People have no food. There will be diseases. Children will not go to school. There is no future generation.
Mr. Wamboka, maybe you are going to help the committee. We had
But I would wish, okay.
On this issue being in your constituency, would you also highlight to the committee if you try to find out from other constituencies if they are facing the same issue?
I did find from other constituencies. And that is why the motion received overwhelming majority, 80% almost, of members who were sitting that day. 80%. 80%. Because they are affected. Members in this committee are affected. Members of parliament are affected. Kenyans are affected. As we will prove, if this motion proceeds to the next level, that it is a disaster. And members of parliament are willing to stand with their constituents.
For which constituencies did you try to stand for this?
In several constituencies in Rift Valley, including Anapco, it was done. In Western, including Malava, it was done. In Central, in Kiambu and other regions, it was done. And in western parts of Bungoma, it was done. As we will produce witnesses here to justify that.
So you're confirming to the committee that this was a national issue cutting across all the counties and constituencies?
It is a national issue. It is a national issue that cuts across constituencies. If it was a regional issue, and Madam Chair, if you look at the voting pattern in the House, it is Kenya. It's not regional. If it was regional, then you'd say only Rift Valley members are voting. Only maybe perhaps Western Kenya are voting. Or Coast people are voting. So this was a national issue and remains a national disaster. A national disaster, Madam Chair. I don't know why The minister has to embarrass himself this far.
So, Mr.
Wamboka.
Mr. Wamboka,
Yes.
my apologies. Mr. Wamboka, in your investigations, in your testimony you said the government rolled out the subsidy program. You've also said it was supplied by NCPB. Could you maybe, in reference to paragraph, on your page 12, paragraph 3 here, maybe highlight the quantity of the fertilizer probably the government was rolling out?
That on or about January 31st, 2024, the government rolled out a countrywide distribution of subsidized fertilizer, targeting to give farmers 12 million bags. This was an increase from the previous year, where the government had distributed close to 6 million bags to farmers during the planting season, which saw farmers produce 80 million bags of maize due to use of subsidized fertilizer. And Madam Chair, as I said, this program is a good program. The intention by His Excellency Ruto's government is good to subsidize production. It's good. But when we have the wrong people administering such a program, then it doesn't achieve the intended purpose. And that is why we are glaring at a disastrous future.
Mr. I want to refer you to the next page of that document, which is paragraph 5.
Yes.
Honorable Committee, the paragraph 5 is got at page 13 of our notice of motion. Could you please just read that paragraph?
That on Saturday, 16th April 2024, the Daily Nation newspaper, of course online, published an online article titled "The Government Confirms Distribution of Bad Fertilizers to Farmers" by Barnabas B. and Vitalis Kintai, where it was reported that 2 weeks after the rollout of the subsidized fertilizer, it came to the knowledge of the public that the fertilizer which was being distributed was fake. That through the Kenya Bureau of Standards, KEBS, confirmed that fake subsidized fertilizer known as GPC plus organics packaged in 25 kg bags was circulating the market, and as such, farmers were likely to have been sold fake fertilizer, which was being distributed by government through the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock. Attached here is a copy of printed article. And this was indeed confirmed by KEBS, a government agency, that there was fake fertilizer. And the third person I would want you to invite, perhaps the committee, is the CEO of KEBS, who was invited by the Committee of Agriculture and gave us very serious submissions, confirming what the minister initially denied, that there was fake fertilizer on the market.
So, Mr. Wamboka, just to get a clear picture, you're confirming that this fertilizer was in the country?
Yes, indeed, as confirmed by serious government agencies.
And the same was being procured from NCPB?
NCPB, a national government agency where members of the public must trust. If today you told a member of public, go and purchase your fertilizer from a wholesale or national cereals, they should trust government. They would trust government. Their only mistake, Madam Chair, the only mistake the members of public did was to trust the government, and therefore a government agency called National Cereals and Produce Board, which sits under the minister, Franklin Mithika Linturi, who shall take responsibility for that matter, because the board stops at his feet.
So, Mr. Wamboka, you're addressing the committee and saying that the person directly responsible is
He is responsible because there are several letters drafted, written by the PS. And that is why, Madam Chair, we insist you invite the PS in good time so that he can own up these letters, so that they can point squarely at the minister. Most, if not all, of these letters were copied to Honorable Mithika Linturi. So he cannot feign ignorance.
Point of order, Honorable Judge, yes, I think the way the witness is being led is not very helpful because it is like he's making sweeping statements. Can we kindly be led to specific documents which we can be looking at as he gives his testimony? Otherwise, without being referred to documents, then we will have difficulties attaching his testimony to the documents he has brought.
Well guided.
Just refine so that we see what documents those are.
Well guided. My lawyers are working on that as we proceed.
Also, we're working on that, and that will come to the table now. We are not just taking the basis. Because not really the basis of all these people.
So is that
Madam Chair, protect me, because we must give this in a manner that we must arrange our flow in the way we want.
Thank you.
As long as it's legal, through the chair.
Madam Chair, we are the committee taking the evidence. It's best presented to us the way we understand the evidence. If there is to be reference to documents, we will kindly be referred and see those documents. Otherwise, later on we shall be told those documents don't exist. And if that is not the way evidence is led, evidence is as you refer to a document, you say, look at this page. We go straight to it, then we move on like that. That is how orderly evidence is actually tendered.
Madam Chair, we have said, my lawyers are getting the exact documents, which we are going to table here, but that does not stop us from proceeding. How we organize our presentation, honestly.
Chair, I must also confirm that when